What's up? Welcome back into Foxborough Rush Hour. We'll get into the NFL Top 100. I always love this coming out because it is players voting for players, and you hear the peers' perspective on the guys that they're either playing against, playing with, what might have you, people they match up with. The big news for the Patriots, Christian Gonzalez breaks in at number 84 in the NFL Top 100. That's huge. The Pats have not had an NFL Top 100 player in quite some time. For Christian Gonzalez to make the list, for them to have a player makes the list is one thing. For it to be Christian Gonzalez, who's on the precipice of being a top 3 corner in football, who is fantastic in his sophomore season, this is huge for the Pats. What do you make when you saw this, that he ranked number 84 on the NFL Top 100?
I was, for one, very excited about it. I used to geek out over this Top 100 to be released all the time, but my favorite part about it is getting the players' perspectives on it, because you actually hear what's going through their head when they have to match up toe-to-toe on plays. And I think that's what makes it even better for Christian Gonzalez, because you're talking about somebody who reputably, through other players' mouths, has been called a shadow when he does coverage. He just turns into a wide receiver shadow, and that's a sick compliment to get. I know that 84 might seem a little kind of dragged on the list, but like you said it, he's coming off of his sophomore campaign.
He's had one good season.
One good season with a team that's been God knows what. You know what I mean? So it's very realistic to land here because the climb can only go so much further, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him be above 50 next season. And
this is also for him to get recognized with this defense being one of the worst in the NFL last season. The pass rush was terrible. Every layer of this defense was absolutely awful. And he was a lone shining spot. That says a lot about him. We have the audio right here. Here's Bills cornerback Teron Johnson, Ravens cornerback Marlon Humphrey, and then Arizona Cardinals tight end Trey McBride. Here's what they had to say about Christian Gonzalez.
It's a hard system that they run, so he's definitely like following a lot of number one receivers and watching that. I mean, that's always going to be a challenge when you have to go against number one receivers every single game.
Seems like even when he might not have a step, his closing speed is next level.
You know, lockdown corner for the Patriots, and a guy who's a great player, so he has a bright future in this league, and I'm excited to watch that.
What I loved was Teron Johnson going with the system they run. He's picking up the number one. And then when Trey McBride was talking about the prep for the Cardinals that they had for Christian Gonzalez, he was like, that's a guy that was on our radar all week. That's what you need. Like, you need the guys that keep coordinators up all night. Patriots had none of that on their defense except for him. They had none of that on their offense at all. But you hear from really good DBs across the league, and then somebody's matched up with a Trey McBride. Yeah. It's something where he is so dang good. He has such good hips, his hands, his athleticism, his length. It all lends to being a really good corner. Now, this season, what it should be, he'll be playing with a better pass rush, a better cornerback, too, in Carlton Davis. Heck yeah. Much better safety play that's also healthy. That's what's big, where, yes, he's 84 now. Like you said, he's going to break into the top 50. He could be top 40 after this upcoming season. I wouldn't be shocked.
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked at all. We've already gone through the list of how many wins we think the Patriots can acquire this upcoming season, but more importantly, kind of like where it's easy, where it'll really test this defense and the new identity they should have going into the upcoming season. What I liked was Humphrey mentioning his speed, of course, but biasly, what am I going to say? The tight end is what stood out to me when it came to them. Just kind of raving about him, because you're talking about a different kind of matchup size. And yeah, it's typically probably not where he would go for his coverage, but to think that you're still looking at this guy and being like, damn, you're a pain to even like game plan against. And he's somebody that can notably make all positions offensively uncomfortable. That's why I'm like, you're breaking into top 50 next year. But it's also the fact that like now kind of getting a bit more sturdy defense playing in front of you, like it could free him up in a number of ways to where he could be that much more dominant or be that much more confident going one-on-one with the top wide receivers. Like, I was looking at comps in terms of like AFC, and AFC is arguably one of the most competitive, especially like we're trying to see where they're going to stand AFC East-wise. But if you're talking about somebody who can compete and shut down Bills wide receivers consistently and how they're going to be uncomfortable game planning against him, that's just going to help this team as a whole, but it's just going to shoot his numbers through the roof.
It's also that in the matchups they have with, like, in the Dolphins, it's Tyreek Hill. With the Jets, it was Devontae Adams. And in the same video, I loved what, like, he's breaking down how he was covering a Devontae Adams. He goes, I watched on film, I came with the plan. They're on the goal line, and it was him disrupting Devontae Adams' timing at the line of scrimmage, where he is one of the best release packages we've ever seen in football. And the athletic play he had to get around, where he throws off timing in man coverage and bats the ball down against one of the best receivers to ever play the game, again, in Devontae Adams, who at his age is still sick and is still a fantastic player. But that's a Gonzalez, like, that's what he's there for.
Yeah.
They have their number one receiver. You throw him on him, and then he erases them from the game. I just remember the play he made against Marvin Harrison Jr., too, against the Cardinals, where it was a perfectly layered ball by Kyler Murray. Gonzalez got his hands in, perfect timing. He was behind on him. It's kind of a lose to Marlon Humphrey at the closing speed. Closed the gap, got back. There was no separation, but shot his hands in, perfect timing. It's the IQ and the timing, where it was a PBU. What should have been a touchdown, because MHJ is that good, but Christian Gonzalez ruined that. And that opens up everything for the defense. And, like, that's what he does. It's so crucial. There's the pillar positions, and it means something. It's the guys that affect the quarterback, as Vrabel says it. Quarterbacks who cover the receivers, and pass rushers who get after the quarterback. And then you have left tackle, quarterback, and, of course, wide receiver on the opposite end. He affects the game, and he's just such an important cornerstone they have for this franchise moving forward.
Yeah, and then two things pop off from what you're saying right now. First of all, who doesn't love a film head when you've got a team that's kind of trying to rebrand themselves in a few different ways? That's the guy that you can count on no matter what's going down in a game. Or that's the guy that you look at and you're like, dude, you're my best friend when it comes to situational football because you've got the eye and you've done the film study. But then I also look at the fact that you talked about batting down passes. Like, that's so infuriating as a player when, like, your passes are being, or when you're trying to receive the ball and it's getting batted down. And then think about how many young wide receivers there are in the AFC heading into this upcoming season. Guys whose heads that he can probably get in a little bit quicker too. So I kind of look at how he can edge out. Yeah, still very young himself, but he's going to have a different air of confidence about him now, being more familiar with what is expected at the NFL level. But then, like, when you look at the Jags and a few other teams, you've got guys that are going to be heavily relied on that are young, brand new to the league, and Christian Gonzalez is going to be a pain for them to go up against. Yeah, no, he definitely will be. And that's, again, even who's on their schedule, when it's the Ravens, the Bengals that they'll be facing this year, matchups like that. And even with its other opponents, you know, when you go across the NFC, Atlanta Falcons with Drake London, like, this is a guy you need. The receiving position, it's getting deeper. It's more than first-round picks. It's now second- and third-round guys that are emerging as really good in the league. And what you need in a cornerback is someone that can shut them down and take them out of a game plan. He lends to do that. And again, his injury he had his rookie season was a shoulder injury. It was something that happened by him being late in the Cowboys game. Shouldn't have even still been in the game because they were getting blown out so bad. Right.
But that's the only medical red flag we've seen. He put together a full second year in the league, and on a really bad defense, he was a guy that was a leader, and they're clearly the best player on that side of the ball. And it's just, again, it's important that guys like that, when you check the box, you hit on a corner draft pick. First-round pick he was too. When you hit on your quarterback, like I think they have with Drake May, if they hit on Kyle Williams, if they hit the same thing when it comes to Will Campbell, like, all this adds up, and then that's how teams consistently be good. It's these first-round picks, it's these third-round picks coming together. He's really young. He's about to play his third season, and he's only getting better. Yeah, and I think it means more the fact that he played in such a bad defense and still was as impactful as he was, and stands out to make a list at 84. Like, I think that plays heavily because when you have support, when you don't feel like you have to be everywhere and everything to a team, I feel like that's why I stand by the fact that he's going to take that next step. He just continues to grow. He was really good when he was in Oregon. And the fact that he fell to the Patriots in the first place was like a godsend, like fell in their lap. The Commanders took a cornerback 2-3 picks before them. Should have went with Gonzalez. They passed on him. I think it was for Forbes. And I'm not even getting into it. I'm getting a blank on the name. But
it was probably there originally. I
think it was Emmanuel Forbes, actually. And then they end up cutting him. I could be completely wrong. But they went with the cornerback, and he's not with the team anymore. Right. Like, and it's the luck that they had that they landed him. But that's part of it with drafting. Guys have to fall to. Like, look at the Ravens with all the talent they have. They're always picking back end of the draft, and it's Kyle Hamilton, like it was that they did this year with Malachi Starks. It's someone that falls to them late in that first round. You're like, I can't believe Tyler Linderbaum. It's like, I can't believe they got them. Yeah. But it's just being smart, doing your homework, and knowing who's good. And again, for him to be young and only getting better, like, that's what matters. He's getting better. Drake May's about to enter year 3 in the league. No, excuse me, year 2. Exactly. He's entering year 3. Christian
sophomore
Gonzalez.
Baby. Yeah.
That's what matters. It's the young talent. It's a cost control contracts. It's a young talent only getting better. Yeah, and I wasn't being rude while you were talking. I wanted to clarify the schedule because I'm looking at some of the young guys that I was talking about in terms that'll have more of a task on their shoulders. But you're looking at sophomore guys and a little bit more of a veteran presence when they play certain teams. But Titans will be kind of on the young side. Bills is the one that I'm eyeing more closely. Dolphins, you already mentioned it. And then as they get down the stretch here, it's Bengals and Jets quite a bit. It's Jamar Chase. It's Garrett Wilson. With the Ravens matchup, too, I mean, that's Zay Flowers. Giants. Drake London, Malik Neighbors with the Giants, exactly. Yep. Even when they're matching up with the Saints, who are going to stink, that's Chris Olave, who's a really good down-the-field receiver. And now when they look at these receivers in a way of the game plan, they go, okay, we got Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Fly paper, be the shadow, which again, we love that nickname. Be the shadow on those guys, and that in a way helps them out. Instead of being, okay, how the hell are we going to stop these guys? It goes, well, let's start with, we have Christian Gonzalez. How do we help Christian be successful? That's what the game plan is for Terrell Williams every week now as he leads that defense.